Are you or someone you know excited for brand new Xbox games? Games like Call of Duty, Hellblade 2, and even Starfield? Well, join the club. Join the club. There are no gold stars. Do not pass go. You're just like the rest of us here on this channel. And that's a big compliment to the developers, all the fans that support the games themselves. We're all excited as Xbox fans, and we got updates on all of these titles and more in this video. So grab a drink, hit the like button if you're excited for the future of gaming, and let's get into it. What's up guys, Dealer back again with yet another video, and today we're covering a variety of topics, starting with one that just broke, Call of Duty, Activision. Everybody knows that Microsoft just paid a lot of money, more than all of us combined will ever make in our whole lives, for Activision Blizzard. There was a lot of confusion around where these games would go, where these titles would stand. Now to be clear, me personally, I don't buy into any of these PR stances until I see them in action. That's why I didn't buy into Microsoft saying Bethesda games will come to Xbox first and they would have the best versions on Xbox, then they would come to other platforms afterwards. We soon saw that change into they won't go anywhere without Game Pass. These companies will tell you what they need to tell you at the time they need to tell you to make you think what they need everyone to think to make an Activision acquisition go through. So again, this is their latest update on everything they are saying publicly about the Call of Duty PlayStation deal, the exclusivity there, and a lot of people have been asking me about this, so I wanted to include it. Their statement does say the following. To be clear, Microsoft will continue to make Call of Duty and other popular Activision Blizzard titles available on PlayStation through the term of any existing agreement with Activision. And we have committed to Sony that we will also make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement and into the future so that Sony fans can continue to enjoy the games that they love. We are also taking similar steps to support Nintendo's successful platform. We believe this is the right thing to do for the industry, for gamers, and of course, for our business. Now, I don't want to harp on this a lot, but if you think about it, Nintendo has a very successful run with games like Fortnite, free-to-play battle royale titles that are heavily dependent on microtransactions. It's interesting that they mention Nintendo in the same statement when Nintendo doesn't have any of the mainline games. They are basically referring to games like Fortnite, big popular battle royale type games. Also, they do not tell us anything about what modes from Call of Duty, which Call of Duties, when, how, and where. They just say the same thing they said last time, but in a longer statement. Like I said, this whole move is about getting free-to-play games onto as many platforms as possible, and that's where Warzone comes in. Otherwise, how is this anything different from what they did with Bethesda? What, are those games not right for the industry? Is that not right for the gamers? Is it not right to let them continue playing the games they love on PlayStation there? No, you're obviously talking about something that requires users. You're talking about Battle Royale. You're talking about free-to-play. At least in my mind, over the next several years, you will start to see Call of Duty become exclusive, except for maybe that free-to-play aspect. And as long as your messaging continues to contradict itself from Bethesda to Activision, you know, you gotta get your messaging straight, Xbox, and I will not let up on that until I see consistency there. Find a different way or don't say anything at all, but don't give us one excuse for one and then pretend like the whole ZeniMax set of games isn't good for gamers to have on all the platforms. You're clearly talking about free-to-play stuff, and I think you should be a little bit more clear on that when you are able. But right now, there is a big transaction in place. We will see how it plays out. Let me know your thoughts on all of that, and trust me, we're gonna get to Starfield and Phil Spencer, but we've got to talk about Hellblade 2, aka the best-looking game of all time. Right now, anyway. This is clearly a next-generation game that will shortly leverage RDNA 2 features from Xbox Series X and S. And hey, if they're not using them by then, Microsoft, I give up. To be serious though, the creators of Hellblade do have an update on the title, and man, I'm just more and more impressed every single time I read into Hellblade. It looks phenomenal. Studio lead Tamim Antonio Banderas does have the following to say on Hellblade 2, and part of that is the fact that it will make Hellblade look like an indie game. Yes, the original game that was an indie game. Of course, there's much more to this. It's a lot more impressive than that to me. Ninja Theory co-founder speaks up on the goals surrounding Hellblade 2 Senua's Sacrifice, which is mostly to outshine the original. He says the goal with Hellblade 2 is not to perfect it, but to create an experience that is much more believable and more refined. Its ambition in terms of scale is bigger. I think Hellblade 2 will make Hellblade look like an indie game. Now, like I said, I'm pretty sure Hellblade 1 was an indie game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know what you mean to me. You're basically saying Hellblade 2 looks so good that by comparison, Hellblade 1 will look like an indie game. Yes, even though Hellblade 1 looks absolutely fantastic all these years later, it's still going to be a massive massive leap over the original, and that is part of what they're going for. In addition to hyper realism, they want things to be very real, very visceral, which we got a sneak peek of in the trailer. I mean, look at this. This looks insane, and there has never ever been anything like this be shown off by a publisher like this. It's quite incredible, especially for a team of this size. Let me know what you think of Hellblade. Okay, I already know what you think of Hellblade 2. It looks phenomenal, all the crap I just said, but I am curious as to how you guys think this game will play out in terms of gameplay, in terms of narrative. What exactly are you doing, and when does it take place? Is it a prequel? Is it a sequel? Maybe there's some information out there I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. On to our last topic of the day, Starfield. AKA only the biggest game ever in the universe in the history of all mankind, probably. Xbox boss Phil Spencer does seem to think that Starfield is going to be absolutely massive. So big, in fact, that he thinks it's going to be the most played Bethesda game ever. Or at least that's what he says he wants, meaning that's what he probably expects. Now, obviously, he says that and more in this interview, but I just want to form a mental image here for you. He wants this game to outperform Skyrim, a game that has been sold on everything from TVs to remote control can openers. He wants it to do better than every single Bethesda IP ever. Xbox boss wants Starfield to be the most played Bethesda game ever. When asked about this, Phil Spencer does say the following: I love the Horizon 5 and Halo stats. I love how many people played Psychonauts 2, Psychonauts 1. So when I look at the teams, when Todd and I talk about Starfield, we're discussing how do we make sure this is the most played Todd Howard game ever. That is an interesting quote. With Forza Horizon 5 and Halo being the most recent releases, those are the most played games in those franchises because we made them available on more screens than we ever have, through more business models than we ever have. Starfield is going to be absolutely massive, guys. It's going to be a giant universe, and from what we're hearing, if you watched RDX podcast this past Tuesday, Starfield is shaping up to be something absolutely spectacular, something different, something new. Only time will tell. When speaking on Activision Blizzard titles, he says, yeah, I want more people playing WoW in 5 years than there are today. How else would you do that? Basically taking the statement that he just said and applying it to WoW. The only way you can get more users is by bringing it to more screens, more users than you did before, meaning they are eventually going to be World of Warcraft to Xbox consoles. And he literally follows that up by saying, hey, you do that by making it more accessible, after mentioning COD and Candy Crush. Look, one thing is clear. Xbox have an arsenal of titles and developers unlike the world has ever seen. Once this Activision deal goes through, we will actually start to see what's actually happening with a lot of these games. And again, Microsoft did tell us back then when they bought Bethesda that games would still go everywhere, but Xbox will receive the best versions first. Then those games will go to other platforms. We've since seen them say they will not go anywhere that does not have Game Pass, and I do not know why they wouldn't do the same here, except for with games that are free to play and rely heavily on a user base. Hellblade 2 also looks phenomenal. I can't wait to see more on this. It's obviously the best looking game ever created as of right now, and Starfield is shaping up to be something special. It's had several years in development from the makers of Skyrim and Fallout. I cannot wait to see this game in Game Pass day and date, and as always, you can just buy it like you have traditionally. Tons of different ways to play, super accessible to a bunch of players, and of course, it's looking to do some brand new things that require next generation hardware. We will see. But hey, let me know your thoughts on all this stuff down below, guys. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, if you're excited for the future of Xbox, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for the latest and greatest, more videos coming. I appreciate you guys so much. Become a patron and a channel member today. Why not do both? I kid, but I do want to say thank you for what you guys do. You go the extra mile, you show up, you support the podcast, the videos. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next video.